Man, I was writing something and like they started already. I'm sorry. I mean, I honestly didn't think that like the Pigman phase would happen so soon. I was hoping that like when they put the time for 7:30 that I would actually have at least a little bit of time. But nevertheless, this is the finals. This is fight for the finish. Who is going to be who is going to be the champion of the Asia Division tournament? And that is what's going to happen today. So, I hope you guys enjoy my commentary. Hope you had a good look at the pick bands because I have just forgotten what they were. Oh, what's up, soldier? I'm a little bit late. I was writing something. They threw out too much changes all at once because we have we have the upcoming January 17th changes. So, oh man, finally they've run back. This is probably one of the things that I didn't expect. CNC actually banned out Harbor City, and both of them are going for Kuruk Castle. BPJT banning out Linwu Fortress. I'm not sure why. Maybe they don't like defending on that one. But as you can see, three of the big four range specialists are taken out. The Metallic Doors, the Zycalian Militia, and the Siphonarioids. Dagger and Lancers also gets banned out with Chevaliers. Chevaliers, I don't think we're ever going to see Chevaliers again in this tournament because if Chevaliers are out on the field, they can really overwhelm the enemy. They can really overwhelm you with sheer numbers. But nevertheless, the Matalatori on Kuruk Castle could tell me that CNC might be looking to destroy towers. This is probably a pick in consideration that Kuruk Castle without siege towers is actually a real cancer to actually like fight on top of. Yeah, it's about half an hour it's about half an hour earlier than normal. I mean, like I think we all believe that CNC is going to win. I hear BPJT scrims 5-1. Really? Man, I feel like you pulled that out of your ass. But you never know. I mean, like, Zid1 might be onto something. He probably got some hidden information. But I'm gonna be honest, like, BPJT could drop the ball again. I mean, not drop the ball, but last time we were fighting here, it just seemed like CNC were just superior against BPJT, and BPJT was kind of abusing the Chevaliers. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I could give that kind of prediction any credit. Like, I would love to know how their scrims are going, but I also think that CNC already beat BPJT, and it was quite handedly, if I would say so. It wasn't like both sides struggle, of course, but I think when it comes down to it, I believe in CNC. Like I believe in CNC. If BPJT does kick CNC's ass, that would be great. Like no jokes. I would love that. Anyway, let's start a prediction. Who's going to treat? Who's going to win? Who's going to take the championship? What's your bets, guys? Whoop, we got the first battle coming in. What are the units here? So, I'm surprised that BPJT kind of chose heavily into the stalwarts. YYY also chose heavily into the stalwarts, and as you can see, CNC attacking first. You definitely bet they're going to choose more assault style troops. There's still quite a few stalwarts, but we have 7 Mammalians out on the field. We also have Iron Reapers. I'm not sure about the Iron Reaper pick too much. It should be a best of sevens. I can't remember whether or not they still have 1 point up or not. Probably just going to have to ask. But the most interesting thing here is the turnout of the tier 3s. No more 1 point. Really? It's 0-0. Best of 7. My goodness, they were actually listening to me. They finally listened to me and just be like, get rid of that extra point. If you're gonna have a losers bracket to come back and fight for the finals, don't give the winners an advantage because it just seems unfair. Anyway, but we're into the first battle already on Kuruk Castle here. CNC definitely has an edge, lineup advantage. A lot of stalwarts coming out from BPJT, so they could definitely hold a line. What's also interesting is because of the lack of Matalators and Siphonarioids, the A point's going to be very difficult. I would like to see CNC force a B point push, whether or not they can get to the wall or not. Only one way in. 3 siege towers is going to be very important. The two at the front are the most important ones, but the one on the left, more or less, can be useful in some occasions. Some axe raiders. Interesting to see these guys around. Mostly because, like, in melee, these guys are actually superior to most infantry. Their double attack Their double attack makes them very deadly, able to do lots of damage really quickly. And their safeguard or their passive, iron skin or some bullshit, that really is difficult to kill them. Then every hit they heal a little bit, and every hit they take less damage. I think it doesn't max out and can keep triggering for I think it's default 5 seconds. It can be increased to 7 seconds, and honestly, that passive, it used to trigger twice. That was a bug, but it used to trigger twice, and you would never be able to kill an axe raider because of how difficult it is to kill them. There's not very many things that have extraordinarily high damage in a single hit. So the more you fight the X-Raider, the stronger they get. For that 5 or 7 seconds, I think the passive has an internal cooldown of like around about 30 seconds. But nevertheless, Axe Raiders are one of the few units that are in a skirmishing situation. These guys are terrifying because unless you have like an upfront good set of damage, they don't they trade damage like really easily and really well as well. Trebbing the culverins, good good play from CNC. Wants to get those siege towers up. The middle siege tower here actually is safer than the right hand siege tower. Sort of. It actually depends on how the defenders play this. We got a lot of mortars coming out as well. Left-hand siege tower is being used. Could be a left side push. Interesting to see a bunch of culverins in the back there. Well, we haven't really seen anything next level from CNC, but we are here on Kurak Castle. CNC did ban out Harbor City, so it could be quite interesting to see how we work with this. We got a really strong contingent here on the corner. BPJT probably expecting a push from CNC here on the left-hand siege tower, and we got some good old prefectures. Arrow Rain is also Arrow Rain is an ability that is very powerful for archers because it allows them to target units that they can't even see. And longbowmen have this by default as well, but Arrow Rain has this quality where they're aiming and they'll just auto target whatever. Doesn't matter how close or how far. Arrow Rain auto targets units within the vicinity. Area attack doesn't do this. Area attack just shoots the area, and if you get hit, you get hit. There is a little bit of targeting when while using area attack at certain distances, but it's a little bit finicky. They more often just concentrate on shooting the area rather than shooting at people. So axe raiders, you saw one throw. That is not double. That's not double axe throw. That was just a one throw, and they already broke through the block of the Myrmiliones. And that's one of the other things is because axe raiders can throw a lot of axes in quick succession. They can break down a lot of block really quickly. So that prefecture archers are doing an amazing job right now, pushing. I mean, doing damage and pushing out those units that want to kind of hover around the siege tower. Instantly up onto the wall right now. We got to fight on two fronts. Mammalians fighting claymores won't actually do very much against each other once the charges are done. I don't think. I think the Mammalians not being in formation was a bad mistake. Very little forces here from BPJT on the A points are easily grabbing the A point. I'm not sure if BPJT is decided to concentrate on that left-hand siege tower. Very much likely they have, and they're still forcing the fight by the looks of it. But CNCs are no slouch. They are taking the fight quite handedly, and they're not exactly losing. So exchanges of units for the most part are quite even for both sides. Able to take that A point, able to take a good fight away from the concentration. I do believe that once that CNC could have retreated instead of commit to that fight wholesale. Now we see a massive response towards the A point, less reliant um less reliant on tier fives by the looks of both teams. They want as many fights as possible, using those tier fours to the best of their abilities. Tier fours have been coming up huge as well. Those Iron Reapers are tanky buggers, but they do get cleaned out by the stalwarts there. Slowly breaking through. These trebs down onto the A point are actually going to be quite ineffective. They're really... Whoa! One actually makes it through, but I think it hit friendly fire more than anything. The A point was actually not stabilized, so it's a wonder why... Okay, so CNC's double push actually ending up in failure here. Now, since they have gotten the A point back and they got pushed out. Whoa! Actually, Mammalian just demolished that stalwart into pieces right now. Now it's just the halberdier remaining. I think there was a Medal. So counter response from CNC. So I think CNC committed mainly because they wanted that respawn, and both sides are. My goodness, Mammalians, are you charging or? Oh, there it is. There's the charge. I think right now CNC is really struggling to get both sides of this point. Halberdier formation is deadly and very difficult to push through. Where are the heroes from CNC is my question. CNC has been throwing in units constantly, but hasn't really been pressuring with their heroes at this point. Definitely got balls to push back. Definitely got balls to push back. BPJT rushing over towards the A point and actually manages to get it. So this is a good example of the differences between a short sword and a long sword. A long sword wants to stay engaged with the enemy hero as much as possible. They don't want to kite around. They don't want to bait out the enemy. They want to keep hitting the spear while they're healing. And that's, well, there are phases to it, but that's what the difference between a longsword and a short sword is that the longsword, as long as they keep engaging, um, as long as they keep engaging, you are doing a really good job. A short sword needs to distract, so when you come up against each other, it can be quite odd. But I love this porcupine formation. They're literally shoving serfs into the formations and absolutely bodying whatever's here, and that's incredible. Imperial Pike walks through the men-at-arms. Surprise, surprise. They actually break through and actually demolishes that unit. But the fight hasn't stopped, which is incredible. They've been fighting non-stop for the past 4, maybe 6 minutes. And CNC might be getting close to actually getting the A point right now. Right now, they're probably in a kind of semi-push. Only problem right now is that they need that Fortebraccio to cancel out the enemy Fortebraccio, but there's 2 Fortebraccios coming out from BPJT, which doesn't look good. Where are the heroes from CNC to block out the Pike units? We got some nice songs coming out from the Bagpipers for CNC, but they're not able to stabilize as more heavy units come in for BPJT. Heroes from BPJT are getting killed. Heroes from CNC are getting killed. Right now, it is not looking good for CNC as units are low. Another death for BPJT. Cavalry out on the field. This longsword definitely being a pain in the butt. Longsword's out in, like, the good thing about longsword is that they can heal constantly. They can be fighting the entire time while healing. They don't need to sit back for very long. 30 seconds to go, and BPJT is losing heroes, but winning the unit war. It's a bit of a struggle. Another charge comes out from the Mimilonas. Oh man, the Monastic Knights could actually kill this Pike, and they might actually get the B point. Actually, no. B point is locked up. It will take too long to capture. Oh my goodness! Two CNC members just dropped down, and the A point is going to be secured heavily by the just surf army of BPJT. And that was a very, very big struggle from both sides. Both sides really giving it their all. Um, I think the CNC being a little bit non-committal for the A point at particular times. I'm not really seeing the heroes come out and fight on the field. Maybe I'm not looking at the right fights, but CNC's heroes were just having a very low impact on my screen, while the heroes from BPJT were really giving the units from CNC a right old ripping. The longsword that was keep distracting on the B point, doing an immaculate job as well, um, um, able to distract one or two members the entire time, and that's really good. That's what you want to do. I'm surprised that longswords are being picked because they're not classically one of the classes you would see often. But well, you wouldn't see these guys often in higher tier battles, but now you are, which is really great. Longsword carry, bruh. Yeah, longsword's carrying the day. Both sides using longsword is very interesting. Um, the moles out from CNC, it's a bit hard, but I like to say that the moles aren't doing their jobs, impacting the enemy heroes and impacting the enemy units, because that's what you want to do. You want to focus on hitting those enemy um, units. In the end, a really good job from BPJT. I think CNC should have chosen a reset at some point. It's hard to say why they didn't reset properly. It's another question of just straight up fatigue as well. Constantly fighting on the wall, constantly fighting, trying to get in. CNC, your strongest play is your push. Your push on two front is kind of strange to me because even if you wanted to take a fight, you normally have a goal. You almost got the A point, which was really good, but the push on the backside could have stalled out much longer. Like you could have stalled instead of push against BPJT on the backside. Nevertheless, BPJT is winning right now, and CNC is really, really, really lacking in the really lacking again with the hero versus units department. I do think that CNC is going pretty strong with the hero killing, but that leaves their units a little bit left to fend for themselves. I don't believe that CNC was lacking in unit control, but Zidwan, I would say that BPJT has more hero versus unit than CNC. So even if CNC can manage to kill out the heroes, BPJT lives long enough and also has unit advantage in the end. So I think it was a mistake of CNC focusing on not focusing on the units from BPJT to really limit the hero plays from BPJT because it definitely has impact. Hero versus hero, hero versus hero, hero versus unit, unit versus unit. CNC's really good with unit versus unit and hero versus hero. They're really good at those two things, but BPJT seems to be a step above with that unit versus hero, and hero versus unit. Yeah, a little bit sloppy with the two pushes. Um, the A push was quite light. The other push was um the other push was quite strange, but also it makes sense that they kind of overextended there at the back. I really wanted to see some more stronger to see more security with CNC's pushes. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. Well, according to Zid1, it's actually not a shocker, and we might actually see a new champion for once BPJT doesn't seem to give CNC any light of day. So yeah, JT more on hero play challenge units, and their hero kills they get it by play with units. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think their slight unit advantage when it comes to their play leads to CNC having very limited area to fight in with their heroes. So to put it lightly, the heroes from BPJT are really concentrating on getting that unit advantage, even though CNC is really good against unit versus unit. So at the start of a fight, CNC just dominates in the unit department, and then BPJT gotta drag back that advantage, which costs them a little bit, but they managed to do it, which is good. It means that BPJT doesn't sit back, doesn't let the units just die. They're impacting the unit versus unit battle by having their heroes interact. So you got that hero versus unit. They relieve some of the pressure. They get that edge. And the problem here is that I'm not seeing CNC go in with their units and their heroes. I just watch them go in with their units. Their units normally do amazingly well, but no security from the heroes, no backup from the heroes, and definitely not countering the enemy heroes when they go into their when they're going for their units, because they're concentrating more on heroes that either overextend or out of position. So they're not going for heroes that are on the front line, sacrificing themselves for those advantages in the unit market. Well, I have no idea why they chose Kurik Castle. Honestly, I have no idea. Could be for many other reasons. Definitely not sure. Hidden CNC struggles with it. Okay, so this is apparently insider information from Sid1, and he's clearly stating that apparently CNC struggles to attack Hidden City. Harbor, CNC want to play safe and ban it because BPJT takes one round before this. Kurik Castle. Not many teams scrim it. That's a bit confusing. Why are you saying that BPJT will take the Kuruk Castle. So you're saying that CNC chose Kuruk Castle because you think that BPJT that they think that BPJT doesn't have very much experience on it as well. There's low experiences on Kuruk Castle. You're saying? You you missed the chance to bet, Mask. I'm sorry. It doesn't really matter anyway. Actually, I might delete this. Yeah, I'm deleting that one. Literally, no one voted for BPJT that time. Everyone just voted for CNC. All right, it's open for another 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure more people will be into it this time. But we're here on Kuruk Castle again, and this time BPJT is attacking against CNC. So I want to see people to actually vote for BPJT this time. I saw one voter, but they had 0 points. So what's the point of doing this poll? Comfortable play this map. That pick less up and high chance win. One in previous. It wasn't a lot. Zid one. It wasn't actually a lot. Hidden City got played way more than Kuruk Castle during the qualifying phase because Harbor City and Border Fort weren't even optional. So it was either Hidden City or Hailung. SSR gonna win this. Huh? Oh, SSR ain't even playing, mate. At least there's no Valley Fortress. Valley Fortress, anyone takes that in a CBL game, hats off to you. Hats off to you. That shit's a bitch. Not okay. I mean, I'll be honest. The only time I was in CBL, we were actually defending Valley Fortress and we lost. So, I mean, Valley Fortress is also a very sore spot for me as well. Right hand siege tower up on the wall. Middle siege tower making their way. Left hand siege tower still making their way. Right hand siege tower again. Like this siege towers on Kuruk Castle. I'm always skeptical on whether or not they're good or bad. Like it's bad if you have guys on the wall patrol on either side. So it's just if the defenders are patrolling the wall, you can't go up those siege towers because you just end up in a disadvantage. Depends. It really depends. Well, I don't know. I've seen like the towers only take around about 30 seconds on this map to get pushed. That like even in my mind, even if the towers are up, it's not like you're in a bad situation. The design of this map is quite intriguing because you can isolate the siege towers, you can isolate the A point, and you isolate the A point by not standing on it, but by allowing the enemy get in and crunch them from both sides. So you could do you could do a lot of things with this style of setup that keeps you safe and also stops the enemy. I mean, you could also do a double hold as well, very simply on those stairs. So it's not actually bad. It's not actually bad. The A point is for the defenders is actually pretty impressive. So you got zero for CNC, one for BPJT. So it is a best of seven, and we start off with 0 points for the winner of the winners bracket. That is amazing. We might actually get to a field battle. It will be crazy if it does, but I mean, like, the question is that how long will BPJT wait before attacking? Because CNC, I mean, okay, let's put this in perspective. It takes two culverins to destroy a siege tower. You got a little bit left over. Um, so three culverins can destroy two siege towers, and um, so on and so forth. You need to destroy those culverins. So these remaining five culverins are enough to destroy the siege towers at least three more times. At least three more times. They're using a lot of mortars for BPJT, probably trying to hit the units that are on the ground, on the stairs. BPJT goes through the front gate, might go for a B push. This is really good because they're going in force. They could clear out the entirety of the bottom. The supply point is open. Is open. Um. Oh, breaking through. CNC wasn't prepared for this. One side's gonna break down. The other side might be able to restabilize. The side closer to the supply point. Where are they going though? They lost the Shenji. The Shenji getting clapped right now. Iron Reaper's doing a really good job, but they're not staying. They're unable to win against that sheer force. Slowly, one by one, CNC is trickling down, and this is not good. Could look for a respawn. CNC wants to keep their heroes alive. I wouldn't want to survive. The push. Surprisingly, the Shield Maiden does clean up the push on the opposite side. Now coming in. So BPJT just completely cleared out CNC, and right now we're seeing CNC try to catch the tails of the push, and this is really bad because the exchanges were completely one-sided. And I don't think CNC has the ability to recover in this situation, as the supply point is completely solid. The units on the ground are still being pressured by the heroes from BPJT. CNC looking super weak right now, and I do expect a base push to go towards BPJT right now. So if your prediction was CNC, I'm I'm gonna tell you right now, right? Their performance is really lacking. All right, you guys lied to me. You guys lied to me. Why did CNC get a point? Nah, the mortars were quite obviously saying that they're going to mortar the shit out of you. They have so much resources. So I mean, Here's the thing. CNC should be smarter than this. Even if you're getting mortared, doesn't mean you go for towers. It just means that your position will be mortared, so you need to either take out the mortars or fall back. Doesn't matter which way they're coming from. You expect them to come through the front gate, they expect them to come through the towers. Okay, thanks, Dad. So, the changes to this map is quite interesting because there is okay, so getting up onto the wall, this back wall here, from the connecting main wall, it's such a huge difference. So BPJT, what is also to say is that the defenders really need to defend the entry points into the main plaza of the base point, and they're not really out in force here, which means that they're not covering the stairs, they're not covering those entry points. Those entry points are pretty tough as it is, though. They're looking really weak. I mean, BPJT could just waltz right in. This could be absolutely devastating. Right now, a treb towards that base point. You've got Men-at-Arms trying to fight. Gets completely deleted. Oh my goodness, though. Nice stop by the longsword there. Really hammering home. Unfortunately, the main defense force just clocked out, as we're seeing now. A secondary force jumping out. Stalled for a little bit, but no hold. So this is really bad for BPJT. They did a really good job, but didn't lock up the main section, the main avenue for the defenders to get inside. But I don't think it really matters at this point. The pure dominance and advantage towards BPJT right now is so huge that even if they get pushed out, CNC doesn't have a very good unit margin right now. And more and more units keep clocking out. They have 8 whole minutes. Definitely think that BPJT has already won. CNC continuing to fight to the best of their abilities, but it's just that was a really sloppy defense. Really sloppy. So, your primary defense force could not hold. Your secondary defense force came in too late. In the end, BPJT just waltzed right in, took the fight. Took the fight easy. CNC. I question whether or not you're as good as I thought you were. Your performance right now against BPJT is severely lacking. Hey, don't get me wrong. BPJT is like unit formations, very tight on that attack. Very tight on that attack. CNC, your mistake is not winning the unit battle. Where is your unit supremacy? A lot of situations comes down to who has more units a lot of times. I've never seen CNC lose units to the point they can't stand their ground. Granted, it did look like unit composition wise, BPJT had advantage. But CNC, I really question what your goal is right now. Your your heroes are sitting back, allowing your units to get completely annihilated. Your heroes are not engaging. That few seconds, that moment of hesitation, of engagement, means that the units are going in favor of BPJT. And this time it was a complete wash because not only were you divided, you were also losing in simple fights and confrontation. You lost the Mammalians versus the Stalwarts. You actually didn't get the second charge properly. So, really, 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 really questioning what mentality change has gone through CNC. Where, first of all, I've never seen CNC pushes fail this hard. Like in a, in nearly every direct confrontation, CNC won the unit battle, killed the heroes. They BPJT is just doing the unit battle. They protect themselves with their units. So even if you're better at hero killing, BPJT is completely protected. Fact review is BPJT versus CNC versus BPJT in normal servers for a long, long time. CNC always win in TW. They become coalition last two seasons. They train with CNC in TW gameplay next season, maybe fighting each other again. I really, I mean, again, I like to see that there is a challenge for CNC, but BPJT just the way CNC is fighting right now leads me to believe that they're not confident anymore. They don't they don't take fights. They don't like the first attack was a good expression for both sides. They were fighting tooth and nail, but that defense looked very rough for CNC side. Like I think they had enough win, maybe less motivated. Maybe. I mean, there is a prize pool for this tournament, so maybe they're too old now. CNC's old news. They've won for 2 years, man. They've won for 2 years, so I guess this is probably the end of CNC. I don't like to believe that CNC is showing is this weak though, because I don't I don't think that just because like you've been the winner the entire time that your skills and your strategy or like your mind is this rusty. I don't believe that. I don't believe they should be like that. Well, no idea. Does look like we're going for a few minute break. I will be back in a few seconds. Well, in a few minutes. So I'm gonna go. Be right back, real quick. Let the good times roll. Come on, pick ban. They banned Correct Castle, so hang on. It should appear any second now. How long Fjord this time? Ban of the Harbor City, ban of the Correct Castle. CNC, a hidden city attack. I mean, I thought Zid1 said that. I thought Zid1, you said that they didn't like attacking on hidden city. Don't give Harbor City to CNC. That's what you think. That's a good strategy. I mean, for a good top team, I would honestly say that if you can only attack one map, you're not a very good team. Why didn't they go for Heilong Fjord then? Oh, 50-50, you say? I'm so weirded out right now. Did BBJT just skip over their safe pick and went with... Oh, man. No, they're safe picking now. They banned out Samachi and Stalwarts, so... This is really weird. If Stalwarts are banned, why would you ban... Okay. CNC bans out Chevaliers and Murmillones. But Murmillones are only good if there's other heavy shields. Like, they're only effective against really dense formations of heavy shields. And you safe pick the Siphonarioid, so BPJT is throwing me through a loop right now with no heavy shields on the field. The Siphonarioid pick is actually not a good one. A ban on the Winged Hussars? I get it okay, like, whose strategy to not use heavy cavalry? Like, Daggerack Lancer keeps getting banned. You can't go for Cataphract because Cataphract gets absolutely bodied by Halberdiers. But you banned out the Winged Hussars. Even if you go with all Liaos, Liaos have a very bad time when they're not using their skills. Bludgeon is powerful. Valor is powerful, but you can't bludgeon Valor into bludgeon again. It's bludgeon Valor, and then there's like a 4 or 5 second gap for another bludgeon, and then like a 9 or 8 second gap between each bludgeon. Then so the Siphonarios pick is completely worthless. I mean, the state pick for Siphonarios is completely worthless. Because okay, so okay, it's not completely worthless, but it's risky. It's more risky because there's less heavy shields. You can't protect them from range. You can't protect them from range with your main infantry being polearmed units. I would actually honestly say that a Shenji force is going to be way more effective. The prefecture archers could be swapped out for the halberdiers. Would you go some of the lower tier? Would you go for the lower tier shields? Stalwarts are a bit defensive, but because of how... I don't know. Well, okay. So, you have... Out of the shields remaining, you have Shield Maidens, which actually doesn't have a very high pick rate. The Imperial Spear Guard, the Spear Sergeants, and then you go down to tier 3, Prefecture, the Iron Cap Spearmen. Not actually a good pick. And then the Demez Spearmen, again, not a very good pick. I do think that the Spear Militia might be a good pick because they're very cost efficient. Really? Okay, I'll give you this. On Hidden City, ranged units for the defenders can't stay on the wall for very long. Use the Siphonarioids, win the infantry battle, win A really quickly, and get it to the ground. Once they are in, but the problem is that if they can't get a foothold inside Hidden City and BPJT just gives up the A point and just locks down the infantry, they could end up just not getting inside. CNC might be shooting themselves in the foot. Heilong Fjord defense is also a question. Um, is also like a question. Like CNC might struggle to defend against BPJT if they lose units straight up because here's man, this is the problem when I have no confidence in CNC anymore. When I have no confidence in CNC anymore, I'm just like, what can you do? CNC, you need to get my confidence back into you. Because if you can't win a straight on battle against BPJT, you're not winning anymore. It's Hidden City and Heilong Fjord. CNC is attacking Hidden City, and BPJT will be attacking Heilong Fjord. Oh yeah, sorry. BPJT will be attacking first this time. CNC attacked first last time. Hopium. Hopium. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I honestly can't tell. Yeah. Heilong Fjord's really easy to have cavalry come in from two directions, so it's really difficult for attackers to stay or isolate at the at the point. But they kicked out the winged hussars, so your main charge unit is gone. Zid 1. Why would you go for a cavalry defense if you know both teams are going to be polearm heavy? Like, you've kicked out the two most viable shield unit, the Myrmidons and these Martian stalwarts. Shield maidens are extremely costly, so you can't commit them to the fight as just a shield unit. Yes! But the thing is that CNC banned Winged Hussars and BPJT banned Daggerrack Lancers. I get it that Daggerrack Lancers is one of the most cost-effective cavalry in this game, currently. Like, not gonna lie, Daggerrack Lancers counterattack. Whew! We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to see the warband. I think the warband will tell us a lot more. Myself. Ah, man, I muted myself again. Eh. I understand, Z1, that they like cavalry. But CNC is shooting themselves in the foot here. Like, seriously, shooting themselves in the foot here. They have so much cavalry, but they can't make use of it because the majority of the enemy forces is polearm units. And we know that polearm units only have to be in brace formation for them to just kill every cavalry. So, put it down to this. CNC, by unit setup, is down. Like, your 9 cavalry, useless. Useless. You can throw those 9 cavalry, all of them, Like, good luck. Good luck with trying to use that. Oh yeah, how many sergeants are gonna eat well tonight? I'm surprised no Shenji. Like, if I was expecting so much. Wow, nice flame over above the main section here. That's gonna be very painful. So here, first problem. They can't hold a line. CNC right now is just lost to Fortebraccio there on the A point, and BPJT right now is fully in there. Oh, surprise, surprise! They were actually sitting in that corner there. They come up behind them. They're gonna have to fight into the formation. Shield Maidens lead the way. Those two Shield Maidens are actually doing really good work right now. Oh wait, no, only one Shield Maiden. The Shield Maiden was from the other team. Oh no, wait, there were two Shield Maidens. Not the best, not the best camera control right now. A complete wipe. Kind kind of strange how that worked out. It was kind of strange to me. It was kind of strange to me that BPJT would set up in the direction they were expecting the enemy, but they were walking past the entire army or something because CNC had like 5 or 6 guys in the rear there. Again, another sacrifice of the Fortebraccio going to die. Medal's into Halberdier Sergeants really, really bad. Now, cavalry going to come in from the side here. One Liao Ranger not going to make too much of an impact. Might actually have taken out a couple of those Shenjis. The Shenjis should secure their victory. Now they're in the position. This time, CNC doesn't have a contingent in the back line. Wow! Did that Monastic Knight almost made it all the way through the formation? I think they just walked over a Halberdier Sergeant just now. They get pushed out again? What was that charge, mate? The exchanges. Okay, so I'll grant them this. The exchanges have been kind of equal. Or maybe maybe BPJT's struggling because they are struggling. They're losing more. Are they losing more units? I think they're losing more units actually. Like there were 10 artillery placed down, but they keep getting destroyed. We've got a couple of more. Like this is really efficient for CNC right now. This is a traditional defense, and right now, BPJT needs to start using some more assets to gain an advantage because they've already tried 2 attacks. Both sides are looking to be using serfs right now. See it, Lily. First, focus unit afterwards. Was it really the shield units that was causing CNC to struggle so hard? Monastic Knights are terrifying, man. They're getting way further than I would ever expect. I think they're also so tanky that they literally are the front line for a little bit. Now, I don't think that Shield Maidens? Shield Maidens getting absolutely in it. Unfortunately, The breakdown of the formation is slow. The Shield Maidens are not crunch. So I don't know how CNC is doing this. They're not only are they winning the hero fight inside a disadvantage of units right now. Okay, so what I just saw there was absolutely mental. Like, BPJT's heroes are falling back as CNC is killing them. They had perfect unit advantage, and the heroes were fleeing. CNC is cleaning up the heroes so well in Heilong Fjord that even with, like, did you see how thick that pile was? But in the end, for some reason, the number of units is just too much. Like the hero, look. Finally, CNC is just up. Like the heroes are just winning the fight, focusing on those heroes inside unit formations. But you're disrupting the unit formations as well. But it's a really close fight. A really close fight. I don't think the cavalry carried the day. I think the cavalry were just meat shields. The monastic knights honestly had a really good charge. Two good charges from monastic knights. Um, like if I put it like, granted, yes, the cavalry charges great for distracting attention. They're big. They're big, and they're definitely very terrifying. You see cavalry around, you want to deal with it. The cavalry charge more or less did one. I agree with you. The cavalry charge is more or less served as a distraction. The monastic knight charge had the greatest effect, able to bust through into the formation, last long enough for heroes to really do their work. And this is a really cool aspect that I think is underrated. CNC this time killed the enemy heroes inside their units. So is it a question of whether or not they can do that against polearm units, but they can't do that against shield units? Shield type units, it looks like CNC struggles when dealing with shield type units, which are tankier and much more difficult to CC because remember, they block normal attacks. I would say this is a fantastic. I think this is a fantastic showing for monastic knights. Shield Maidens, again, really good, but barely any backup. They were tanking, I don't know, maybe three different formations. There was like a Medal, there was a Medal, Fortebraccio, and a Halberdier, kind of fighting that Shield Maiden. It made a dent into that section, but it was just very costly for the Shield Maidens to take that fight. They went straight into Forte and killed whole line. Yeah, no. Like, the Monastic Knights were coming through, and in F1 formation, the Fortebraccios, they got to the back line. That's the thing. Like, some of the Monastic Knights, the Monastic Knights actually carved a path into the Fortebraccio, which is really good. Which is actually different from how Winged Assaras would have done. They would actually die. They would actually die. Yeah, we have to see Hidden. I'm really skeptical. I'm really skeptical because we have to go for a third set. We're gonna have to go for a third set. No, 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 no. Oh, you think they'll win Hidden? You think they'll win Hidden? You mean? I mean, it'll be 3-2 if they win hidden. And in the final set, BP has to pick up both of them to win, and CNC just needs to pick up one. So you're saying the win condition for BPJT is to hold the wall? I mean, I love wall holds, but Hidden City wall hold, it's always been a 50-50. Like, a very costly 50-50. It's hard to rotate units for both the defender and the attacker, but the attacker has the advantage of spawn. Like, they could fight, spawn back in, and then thing. It takes way longer for defenders to respawn in. I've seen people not care. Like, CNC was pretty much one of the first teams to really make use of a lot of Arty on the A wall, because there was this. Okay, so during the summer CBL, there was this whole thing where during scoring phase, Hidden City was being played out the wazoo, and there was lots and lots of strategies coming out because people were playing Hidden City so much. CNC really was the team that started using a lot of ballistas. Ballistas, actually. There was mortaring. There was a lot of mortaring for sure from a lot of teams, but CNC used more ballistas to really get teams off that section, off the front section. And it's a bit different from how City, like, there was this whole strategy for Hidden City, just give up A point and hold the bottom of the two stairs and the front gate. And that's all you would do. Well, that's also true. CNC's Arty is another level. Compared to like other teams, I think BPJT also doing a really good job. Their Arty is hitting some big numbers, man. The mortars hitting dead center into the densest pile of the units. Big damage, man. Big value for each of those shots. Can be completely terrifying getting hit by a mortar. You don't kill any units, but the amount of damage a mortar can dish out, way higher than a cannon. Way, like, and hit markers. Yeah. Alrighty. Now we're on Hidden City. Not a lot of cavalry. Where's your cavalry, Zid one? I was expecting more cavalry if you were saying that they were going to go cav heavy. And also force BPJT to give up the wall. But BPJT is almost gone for a full infantry setup. There's only one cavalry. Again, I don't know why anyone would go Tundra Humans. Nah. Best of seven, so first to four. First to four. So there's one more set. There can be one more set. That's not a lot of cavalry. That's not a lot of cavalry. I mean, again, granted that as an attacker, you're not allowed to bring that many too much cavalry if you don't get the wall. The DC is real. The DC is real. Stop DCing. So, man, I don't want to put this lightly. I don't understand. I don't understand sometimes. CNC, like, sometimes your performance shocks me, and sometimes it's in a bad way. BPJT, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? If CNC, really, realistically, if we put it like this, without shield units, BPJT is more vulnerable. So if the heroes from BPJT are more vulnerable in this situation, CNC can kill them. And if they can kill them faster to gain before the unit advantage really comes in, what then? Are we just looking at CNC just murdering heroes and losing the unit battle? Got a lot of mortars down. 5 mortars down on this left-hand side. Well, one siege tower. There's a lot of arty here on the left-hand side. I think there's like 3 cannons, 1 howitzer, and 1 ballista. While the front walls themselves only have like 2 howitzers, 2 howitzers. No, it's like the front wall across its entirety is like 4 howitzers and 4 howitzers and 4 cannons. Actually, that side is actually. So it's like 2 cannons per tower, actually. Never mind that. The left and the middle siege tower are both destroyed. The right-hand siege tower, I would definitely want destroyed. That's not a siege tower I would want to get up. Letting that up is pretty nasty, if I do say so. This mortar into the Falcos. Well, I mean, at this distance, I don't think the mortars actually reach the Falcos that are next to the supply point. And even then, they've already destroyed. They've already destroyed it. I mean, destroyed the mortars. One siege tower, especially the right-hand side, it's actually not a bad fight. Would I take it? I don't know. I would definitely test the waters before committing. Getting more siege towers up on the wall is always great, but I think CNC should take the right-hand siege tower and get a foothold, and then use the other siege towers to reinforce. Not sure. They're switching over to the left-hand side. I don't think BPJT is not going. I don't think BPJT is going to give up A. They don't look like they want to. They're sitting on the stairs. They have heroes patrolling, but CNC is being very cautious. Are they being overly cautious? Are they expecting BPJT to actually take a fight? Because I see some shield maidens running across. This fight here on this siege tower, very tough, actually. Very tough. This corner here can really screw over some of your trips. I don't know what you're doing, CNC. They're using mortars. They're using mortars. They're shooting the guys. I'm surprised that Metallitor shot like that. Oh wait, no, they're down there. Oh man, they are playing A. CNC not pushing the middle siege tower anymore is telling. I do think that the right hand siege tower is probably safer. So good presence, sacrifice, buy some time. They're probably going to give up the A wall. CNC, okay, so good presence. BPJT didn't just give up the A wall straight away. They definitely made CNC wait for it. No real skirmishes happen again. Like, wait, no, doesn't this count? Like, so I mean, BPJT. Let's look at this. BPJT costed 15 artillery, 4 trebs, and let's say 5 whole minutes. 5 whole minutes. CNC, if they go with a lot of artillery right now, will have no artillery for the base point. I think BPJT is in a good position. It's in a really good position. No. The defenders only having less artillery doesn't mean too much because the amount of resources for both sides dwindle as we get further in. The defenders' side having resources left is a big boon compared to the attackers having resources because there's 2 reasons why having attackers struggle with efficiency with their artillery is because defenders keep moving their position. Attackers are very limited, meaning that the contact position of the attackers are always within range of artillery you deploy. Because the defenders are dictating where they fight. So 5 artillery to 13 right now. Big. It's actually a better advantage for the defenders. In my opinion. BPJT might actually take the stairs here. Might take a fight for the stairs. They're coming up. It's gonna be late. They might catch the corner. Oh my goodness, they are going to catch the corner. Could be a wing to star charge down through this would be amazing right now. Okay, the front section they bombed right through the palace guards and things. Right now, a real struggle for shield maidens to win on the backside. BPJT is losing heavily. The shield maidens Iron Reaper combo out for it's the Siphonarios actually. Now the swing from BPJT losing out again for a respawn here. They got some Iron Reapers in the back. Unstoppable charge right now into the back line. Retiari could not stop it, but Iron Reapers do not have very much of an effect. So CNC right now, BPJT could not hold CNC in place, and CNC now up massively. And I agree with you, Zid1. I think CNC is going to take this fight. They have 2 artillery left. They wasted a little bit. CNC still has 13 artillery left, so a base point hold is going to be very difficult with 13 mortars bombing straight into it. I think BPJT taking an aggressive stance there was a mistake. A fight on three sides. CNC did really well at focusing one side, focusing the smaller side, get their guys to the back, killed off the back side, focusing back onto the front side again. Whoa, what happened? I mean, what happened? What happened to your push? They couldn't hold. They couldn't hold that supply point. They swapped over. I thought it was going to be a much more one-sided victory than I thought. With 3 minutes 30 seconds to go, if no, BPJT is going to have another hard fight. If they kept up the pressure on, right now, both sides are just massing up. BPJT being on the downside needs to keep fighting CNC and make sure they don't get a foothold. Right now, there's going to be a lot of grape shots in the center. They're going to have to take it out. BPJT, you either retreat back into the base point right now because there's so much artillery down this center pile. I wouldn't take this fight. BPJT. We also have 3 cavalries out for the field. The Tundra Human just tank the charge. Treb on yourself. Now here comes the Monastic Knights. Always surprising. Monastic Knights followed by the Liao Rangers do a devastating attack. Another Monastic Knights into the Medails. Medails hold strong right now, but the formation is breaking down. They're trading right now. It's going to be very difficult for CNC to push into that. And I would say don't push into that. Allow the BPJT to push in. So now that BPJT is pushing, CNC actually has the advantage. Big trip straight into that formation. Only one got through, so that's massive. I think the mistake here at the very beginning was CNC's push into that pile. They really should have waited for BPJT to push into them a little bit more, or at least encompass them better. We got a minute 40 seconds to go. Unit advantage towards CNC, and it's growing. Only 4 heroes left for BPJT. This really shows you how good CNC is at cleaning up the heroes once the unit advantage is clear. And it's just a rundown now. CNC just going to run down the remainder of BPJT. And this is probably what CNC is best known for. This is what I expected from CNC. But BPJT, again, making some tactical decisions which are I would say mistakes, because you're at a disadvantage. You need to gain an advantage, but you take the hard fight. You do well, but you don't take advantage of CNC. CNC was pushing against you, and you decided to counterattack. No, your units need to just stay in formation, allow them to keep creeping up onto you, and try to stay out of the line of sight of CNC. But BPJT, again, also taking that fight really early on. Did you see how far they traveled? How far they traveled in order to catch them at the stairs? You really need... And also, CNC weren't rushing. They were just coming around that stairs. They were a train, but BPJT not really catching the tail, but kind of the central body of the CNC pile really allowed them to swing their head around and bite off the front, swing the head around, bite off the back, swing back around, bite off the front again. So that too, supply advantage. They should have fought on the supply. Realistically, they should have cut off the tail, fall back to the supply section, and fought on supply, because the closer CNC gets to supply, the more anxious they should be mentally. But it's also good for BPJT to kind of have some filler units just kind of just spawning out of supply, which is very good. They lost the first trade, got fresh units, lost again, and then they managed to. CNC was so slow in getting that supply, they spawned another set of units, went in for that supply, cleaned up that back section, and they lost the other side supply. So CNC noticed that they were so heavily on to the right hand side. CNC comes in, swings to the left, grabs that supply, restocks, reforms, comes up through the center, do mind you, not through the right, not through the left hand side towards the right, but come up through the center, dominate the center section. We had a couple of charges set up on the left hand side come through, and the pick ban for the next phase. So I think it will be like a 10-minute break again. But BPJT, your defense on Hidden City, it's not your like your A presence was super good. You were there. CNC didn't want to take a fight. You didn't take any bad fights either. That's all about movement. That's all about movement. Doesn't mean that your setup was prepared for an attack. That's a bit different. You really trapped yourself in a bad situation by contesting CNC on 3 fronts simultaneously. You didn't have enough pressure on every single front to make CNC sweat. One side broke through, other side just gets turned around and clapped on. So you're splitting your forces, gaining very little advantage, and again, lose out in the end. I want to say that BPJT has a shot, but unless they start acting more together, like CNC, they're not able to stabilize against CNC. And this is very important because we've already made a mention that BPJT, hero versus units kind of thing, was a step above CNC. But right now, splitting your forces like this, not working out too well. But, I mean, that also could be an aftershock effect after Heilong Fjord. Heilong Fjord, they were hyper dense with each other. They were tight. They came in for Heilong Fjord, took the A port together, but the formation, although it's great, one section after the other was falling to pieces. So CNC picking their battles right now really well. BPJT, you are not picking your battles very well right now. So I hope that we get to see a little bit more critical thinking when picking their battles, and hopefully, BPJT keeps their heroes safe or counterattacks the CNC heroes, because again, the hero versus hero section, I'd say CNC is up there, but if you can get an advantage on the units, you could get the edge out against CNC if you keep your heroes safe and you win the unit battles. So good luck. Again, you're not out just yet. There is another set of battles. You have to win both of them for the championship. CNC just needs to win one. So the next battle could be the decider. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in about 5 minutes. There is normally about a 5 or 10 minute break between each set. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. Oh man, came back too late again. I'm sorry, but we missed out the beginning sections. Wow, it's just a repeat. So current Castle banned for CNC, BPJT bans out Harbor City. CNC picks Hidden City again, and BPJT picks Heilong Fjord. I think CNC will be attacking first this time. And hello, Obi-Wan Kenobi, how you doing? Ah, man. BPJT actually got scared of the Siphonarioids? Sorry, I wasn't commentating for the pick band, but I was typing something else. BPJT bans out Siphonarioids and Cycling Militia. CNC bans out Chevaliers and Murmulones. I kind of expected that pick again. CNC actually managing to save Dagrak Lancers, but bans Winged Hussars. No, should be CNC. Should be CNC. BPJT attacked first last time. I actually don't know why BPJT needed to safe pick Smutchy and Stalwart when they banned it the last time, and you know CNC would have banned out Winged Hussars anyway? This is really bad, actually. CNC with... Okay, so let me put this lightly. Daggerak Lancers are pretty much one of the most effective cavalries in the game. For cost efficiency, that is. They're cheap, they hit hard, and they do their job well. Things are very much more expensive. Um, if I was BPJT, I would have safe picked Winged Hussars because you need a clutch. You need a clutch. If you could have a Winged Hussars for the very last second when the cavalry comes through, you could have saved yourself. But now you're in a situation where you could very unfortunately win the unit section or infantry, but just get completely trashed by the cavalry. Vice versa. You can completely dominate the cavalry section, but lose the units. Because CNC does seem to have some kind of gimmick or some kind of play where they are able to take advantage of each other's units. whether or not be sacrificing one or the other. Daggeract Lancers are more difficult to stop and kill. They will deal a lot of damage when you stop them, and they will for sure not die straight away. It's going to be difficult for BPJT to survive a Daggeract Lancer's onslaught, and I don't believe that BPJT is going to try to counter with Daggeract Lancers. So this is the bad thing. I think that BPJT is actually kind of digging themselves into a hole. If they split, BPJT falls right into the hands of CNC. If they stay together, they're going to get surrounded and crushed by CNC. So BPJT, unable to group together and stabilize without getting surrounded and killed, cannot split and fight individual battles without being divided and killed. So CNC has major advantage and confidence again from me. I think Daggeract Lancers. I think CNC wanted to save Daggeract Lancers the whole time, but Daggeract Lancers kept getting banned first by BPJT. So, to put it lightly, the Daggeract Lancer availability right now is huge. Absolutely huge. Your best bet, I would say, BPJT, is to go range heavy. Kill the polearm units and somehow deal with the shield units. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Whether or not they can do it is another question. I think you can get away with some of the lower tier range units as well. They're back on Hidden City as well. They need to play around the supply points for sure, for sure. They can't go for a forward defense like they did before because they get divided into different sections and just crushed one at a time. Yeah, the score is in the top left right now. It's 3 to CNC. BPJT is 2. And Flame, CNC only needs to win one more game, and BPJT needs to win both of the next 2 games. Ban Cavalry, CNC will lose. Well, that's the thing. They didn't. CNC actually won the last 2 battles because of Siphonatis. Not on both occasions, but on, like, Heilong Fjord, okay, so Heilong Fjord was kind of strange. Because how CNC won that one was by fighting indirectly or flanking out BPJT the entire time. On Hidden City, BPJT did really dumb, was really dumb, and split themselves, allowing CNC to chomp on each individual section, and then finally they didn't. They kept losing because they're missing the timing with their pushes. Also, their hero just kept getting killed. That as well. That's always just something that just comes out. So CNC attacking first, Hidden City could be the end of it. CNC definitely much more confident with their cavalry because there's so much of it. We got 4 Daggerack Lancers, 2 Monastic Knights. Monastic Knight pickup is something that I did like. The Monastic Knight pickup is something that I never expected to see. Like, honestly, never expected to see. Liao Rangers coming in, really good cleanup cavalry. They do hit hard. That being said, BPJT also coming in with 7 Daggerack Lancers. Holy cow! 7 Daggerack Lancers, 3 Liao Rangers. That's going to be super interesting. Oh my god, BPJT just went with so many pikes. They are... Whoopsie, wrong one. BPJT, there's like, throughout the entirety of this battle, the fluctuation between medium armor and heavy armor is going crazy, kind of crazy. Like, at almost half the team from both sides were like heavy armor and medium armor, but now we're getting close. Now people are now it's coming to the finish. People are going in it to win it. So they're going risky. They're going medium armor. Medium armor's performance is really some of the best you see. And that is like 6. I think that was seven pikes um coming out from BPJT. The only question is that whether or not who can survive whoever's onslaught. Do they sacrifice cavalry against each other, or does one side hold off against the cavalry onslaught and counters with their own cavalry onslaught and win? But that sacrifices the infantry. So if the other side has infantry left, they could kill out the remainder of your cavalry. Keep that in mind. This is an attack, so your infantry is more or less likely to be killed out quickly. So you're gonna have to make sure you keep your infantry alive long enough to either tank the damage or kill the enemy cavalry. Otherwise, you're gonna have to be sacrificing cavalry for cavalry, and then somehow win the infantry fight without your cavalry. That's not bad. Again, like, artillery out for the defenders, destroying the siege tower buys a lot of time. And I mean a lot of time. Every single time a siege tower is destroyed, that is a minute of time that you gain for every destroyed siege tower. It only takes around about 45 seconds for a siege tower to be pushed, but it takes 30. It takes about 40. It takes a while for those things to respawn, and I'm not sure if it's like 30 seconds or maybe they gain more than a minute, but normally these siege towers are destroyed a bit too early. Since, I mean, BPJT, my question for this one is, why do you let the right-hand siege tower up on the wall? The right-hand siege tower is actually pretty safe to push. In my opinion, it's actually pretty safe to push. So why do you let it up on the wall? Is it to conserve? Is it to conserve ammunition from with artillery? Maybe. Are you sure? I think the middle one's still worse. Like, the right one's not bad. The middle one is always the worst one. Even on Hidden City, this right one is actually okay. This left one, I mean, to put it this way, the middle one is always the worst one. The right hand and the left hand side are normally safe ones. The right hand one on Hidden City is actually worse than the left hand side one. So the left hand side one is the most safe. The right hand one, again, it's not bad, but not. I mean, it's not as bad as the middle one. I think it's more to do with trebs because trebs are further away from right hand. That shouldn't matter too much how far away the trebs are. It's the likelihood of defenders actually defending the right hand siege tower. Defending the right hand siege tower has a like there how the setup works is that there is a lower likelihood of the right hand siege tower being stacked, while the middle siege tower is more than guaranteed to be stacked, and the left hand siege tower, again, will never be stacked because how the setup works. Could be right. I retreating. So concentrating there on the right hand side. A good decision to retreat. They got up onto the left hand side basically unchallenged and they're moving across. No treb onto a siege tower is good. You should I understand when you say the position is bad, but the middle siege tower trebs are the worst still. Because you got the barricade on the left there and you got the siege tower both blocking. The right hand siege tower, again, can block treb shots, but it's not that bad. The left hand siege tower is the best one again, but the right hand siege tower is not that bad, in my honest opinion. I don't think the right hand siege tower is as difficult a place to push. Well, I mean, Temple has a much better reason that because of how the of how the trebs are fired, in which sequence they are, it is probably easier to dodge because it's probably one of the further points away. The middle siege tower being the closest up between all of the siege towers, but the left hand side would also suffer the same problem. The I mean, Granted, the enemy are normally facing away from the trebs, so they're normally not looking towards the treb and they won't see it until it hits them. You say it's tested and proven. No one pushes either the middle siege tower or the right hand siege tower in these matches. I've watched a lot of Hidden City. The middle siege tower, if the defenders want to defend the wall, that is a death sentence every time. The right hand siege tower, it's about a 50-50 because most of the time the defenders are not in position to halt the siege tower. If the defenders hold it on the siege tower, guaranteed win. But when you're coming up from either of the angles, you either come up from the A section and you get tripped to smithereens, or you come up through the stairwell section and you take a hard U-turn and you just die. So either way, yeah, I would just let the middle siege tower just get up onto the wall because it's just so much advantage. I don't know why BPJT is doing this again, though. Although, very effective fire coming out from the incendiaries. BPJT, Again, like, going to be late, or are they? The front section was a bit delayed. The back section is... This is going to be a big sandwich. Because stalwarts are on the field, that means the battle is lasting longer. Daggerect Lancers could have gone through. Back section getting destroyed now, so this is really weird. This is a bit of a reversal. The front section is not getting destroyed, so the front section needs to start pushing, and CNC cleans up the back section, and now CNC needs to turn around, but here comes the cavalry charge. As I expected, clean up with the cavalry. Daggerect Lancers goes all the way through, coming out from BPJT. A quick rush, trying to save their asses by staying up onto the wall, but loses most of their infantry. CNC just losing out on that push. Again, a very costly for the infantry section for BPJT, but I think they're a little bit up now as they catch a Shield Maiden, and running away are the Shenji. This is much better because I think the stalwart safe pick, I mean, allowing the stalwarts through this time allows them to hold. And that's crucial because the longer these battles go for, the quicker they can rotate. That means they can use these supply points to their advantage. It did look like the supply point on the other side was captured at some point. There was a little bit of a skirmish, probably just some cavalry. Yeah, it was a good trade for BPJT. Sacrifice a little bit of the infantry, but here, like, again, like, how powerful was that cavalry charge? It more than made up for the deficit created from the infantry battle. Now, CNC taking the same road twice, it can't be helped, but man, they don't have any shield units right now, which means that this own stalwart is, well, it's unsupported and about to be ripped apart. If they clear the center, if they clear the center and get cavalry through, CNC might just go straight for the B point if they clear the center and get cavalry through. Problem is that their tail behind us right now, the ranged unit didn't come off the wall yet. Here comes the cavalry from CNC right now. It's a really weird fight. They're on the left-hand side, they're on the right-hand side, and in the center. The Daggerect, Liao's versus Liao's. CNC might just go straight for the B point. Doesn't even ignores the supply points right now. This is really good. If CNC forms inside the center section, they'll have cavalry protected by 2 lines of infantry. The cavalry is out in force right now, and there is a lower number of infantry coming out from BPJT. BPJT is sacrificing the cavalry to bust through the remaining infantry coming out from CNC. Big losses coming out from BPJT. As long as they keep that center section open, the threat from CNC is increasing as we get closer and closer towards this point. This is a little bit desperate. I think that Halberdier unit just crushed an Imperial Pike, and right now is going to easily kill the Fortebraccio. Right now, the front line is completely destroyed. BPJT is picking up some kills as CNC were trying to push through without support, and this is really... Oh, wait, hang on. They were stabilizing the front gate. They've respawned. Both sides are respawning really fast. This could be a straight-on battle for the B point, and they're grabbing that supply point there on the left-hand side. Halberdiers, just a whole bunch of Halberdiers. Really, BPJT, you need to stop pushing, because that is like, unless you just completely decimate that section, you did, because Claymores actually won that fight for you. But the reversal is going to happen very shortly, as cavalry is going to come screaming through. Right-hand side gets completely caved in. That middle cavalry going to come in from the rear this time. CNC's cavalry is going to be make it or break it right now. That Medal is the last thing here that can stand their ground. Hero advantage going towards BPJT right now. If BPJT keeps killing off the heroes right now, they will win the fight. The infantry battle is looking bad for CNC, as well as halberdiers and halberdier sergeants make it towards the B point. We only see some Imperial Spear Guards making it towards this point right now. So bad luck for CNC. The losses from the beginning did mount up in the end. I think the reversal for BPJT in this case was mainly due to the fact that they were able to keep CNC from stabilizing themselves, constantly fighting, a very hard fight, and BPJT doing a wonderful job right now, putting pressure on CNC, doesn't even let them get them serfs up into battle. Oh man. Oh man, Mask, you don't get to see the final battle? The final battle! How dare you? This is the final battle for who to decide the winner. How could you miss it out? Mask is not allowed to view the battle because he automatically makes CNC losers. Oh. It's been a really long time since I've seen a finals go on for this long. It's really exciting to see two teams that have more or less similar skill or skill level really battle it out for the finish here. I mean, I honestly thought that CNC was going to win it with that cavalry, but maybe that counterattack was way more effective than I thought it was, crushing that halberdier line with the claymores, with the medals, pushing it in, means that they had less infantry to engage, and in the end, it was just, whew. I just noticed that, like, for BPJT, 7 people voted for it, and CNC, 4 people voted for CNC, so man, either 4 people are going to get a payout, or 7 people were right. Um, half half, I would say. Half half. Um, I think BPJT. Okay, so for the first hidden city, I think BPJT just misplayed it. I think they didn't have the holding power. They needed the stalwarts, and they cleaned it up with the cavalry. So here's the three most important things. The first hidden city, the defenders didn't have the tools to stop CNC. So CNC just rolled over them with the siphon arrows, killed the infantry, pushed on, and killed every other section. CNC did a really good job fighting toward that B section. The problem was a three-way attack means that CNC was looking in too many different directions. By the time the cavalry came through, it just busted down the rest of the infantry, and they were heavily wounded. So it's not that CNC was weak. I think BPJT could have played the first one better with knowledge of what their units were, what units they had available. So I think BPJT just played this one better than the one before. So CNC still played it quite straightforward, and this is really irritating as well because CNC did the same strategy twice, which I don't which I don't think is a good or a wise thing to do because CNC shooting themselves in the foot a second time by doing the same strategy against the same opponent means that BPJT it was going to learn was going to counter it. So no, I don't agree with you, Zid1, that CNC is weak on Hidden City. I think BPJT just learned from their mistakes from last time. Question is, as well, they learned their mistakes from last time on Heilong Fjord in this short amount of time? Oh yeah, CNC is the master of one strat, but sometimes they create strategies that are almost unstoppable. Like, here's the thing: they might be the master of one strat, but that strat is incredibly adaptable for any situation that they come up against. So it's not to say that they don't have alternate strategies. They have one strategy with alternate scenarios. Okay, again, no rematches for connection issues. That's the unfortunate thing. You would you would you would have to ask BPJT for a rematch, or the referee calls for a rematch. And again, like, you can't call a rematch just because one of you guys DC'd from the matches or couldn't connect. There are times where you just have to accept the fact that bad internet is like a natural disaster. Can't be helped. I'm sorry if like you guys think it's I'm sorry if you guys think that there should have been a rematch for more fairness, but the rules stipulate that your own internet yeah, your own internet connection is your own internet connection um is your own thing. So even if the servers are unconnectable for everyone, your internet's the problem. So again, a rematch is kind of unlikely to happen. Again, CNC and BPJT would need to how to say agree for a rematch, but with one more battle on the line, I don't think a rematch is necessary because it was neither game breaking nor was it related to bugs inside the game itself. So just DDoS CNC. Yes, that's a strategy. Just DDoS CNC, and so they can't participate. If no one connects to the match, or if one entire team doesn't connect to the match, the referee could either call a default or a rematch. And I mean, again, there's a difference between DCing and just leaving the game. So if no one connects from one team as a referee, I would question myself, what happened? did the match not start properly? If it's one player, just play on. Again, it's up to the referee. The referee has ultimate say on what the rules are, but generally, your DC internet's your own fault. You have to have your own reliable connection in order to play in the tournament. The referee should pull out a red card. Disqualified! Yellow card for a warning, right? I don't know football rules or soccer or whatnot. They should some pause. Where am I from? I'm from Australia, man. I'm close to the gates of hell. Best of 7, yeah. Oh, I mean, okay, so technically it's a best of 6. It's technically a best of 6 because CNC started with a point. Yeah, that's because I don't speak like an Australian. I speak like an urban Australian. I don't speak like rural Australian. Yeah, I never really. Huh? No, like you do realize that our spiders are small. Our spiders are small, but they're really poisonous. Yeah, this next battle is the last battle. Whoever wins this one wins. This is the last round. This is the last round. Best of 6, first to 4. I think it's better to say first to 4 because on a technicality, how they've written the rules, this is a best of 7s with a chance with a field battle as the tiebreaker. The thing is, they have 3 sets of siege matches, which means 6 matches of sieges. Even if both sides win 3 each, the winner from the winners bracket has 1 point, meaning that the winners from the winners bracket wins instantly. You will never have a scenario where you go down to the field battle, even though in the rules it's stipulated that a tiebreaker would be decided on a field battle. If the if the if the 3 sets of siege battles were if the 3 sets of siege battles could not decide the winner. It's really dumb that, again, like, I don't like the point given to the winners of the winners bracket, but I understand why it's there. So honestly, I would say that CNC should just have a harder time because right now they have 1 point by default, only won 2 battles against BPJT, and BPJT has picked off 3 whole matches from CNC. So again, I kind of really, really, really do hope that we get to see a field battle from these two, but that's never going to happen because BPJT is right now in a position. Both sides are in a position to close out the match. BPJT is going in with a lot more stalwarts. That means their holding power will going to be stronger. CNC might make a mistake here because they might overcommit the number of infantry to deal with that blocking unit, and that's going to be a question. I didn't see that actually. Are you saying that? Oh man, did they really cut down their kill? I don't think CNC should have switched out too much. Front gate broken through. They let them through. Grape shots from the back. Formation of Imperial Spear Guards with water brachios. What are you doing? Oh man, the water brachio goes straight in, blocks it. They close out a. Oh, Dagger Lancers comes through a bit early, I would say. Your infantry line has barely engaged. Claymore's fighting off the front section right now. It's a tough battle to hold. Not very many shield units coming out from CNC. I think that was a wall battle as well. It's going to be slow. Could see another advance come through. There's a grenade. Big grenade comes out onto that Fortebraccio unit. Though it has not managed to push all the way through. The heroes actually died out. Okay, never mind. BPJT just lost because they're getting surrounded now. And they lost heroes. Probably from the grape shots from the back. Needed to take those out, but cleared off those units real easy. CNC takes that real slick like. BPJT just rushing in with cavalry. This could be good, but CNC comes in with cavalry as well. In a cavalry exchange, you're just exchanging cavalry. First person to get infantry in wins. Right now, the halberdiers are really doing work. Look at the dead bodies. CNC just going to win this hands down. I think CNC just won that exchange. Sacrifice of many, many cavalry to kind of just stabilize inside the point. Using their own grape shots against them. CNC could do a fallback. I don't think CNC needs to take this fight anymore. They've garnered a good amount of time. And getting shot like this would be just a bad idea. Yeah, I also agree with one. BPJT is letting too many heroes die. They need to stop splitting themselves, and they also need to make sure... Oh, here comes cavalry again. Nice stop by the Shenji Grenadiers. Holy cow, dead in its track. Liao Rangers catches the other one. I would not charge, again. Got the stalwarts, need to reinforce the position. We got some more cavalry coming in. I would bring some halberdiers to that side. Slow and steady. This is what we like to see. BPJT is cleaning up the backside, looking for some rear attacks. CNC is trying to get onto that back line, but some reason keeps failing. The Shenji Grenadiers did massive work, but now they've been taken out. But a good advantage for BPJT as they're still in it. They're trickling forces through. It does look like there's a person on the back supply point of BPJT. CNC might actually lose this. Lots of halberdiers. Barely any stalwarts left on the field, but it is densely populated by the units from BPJT. Halberdier makes it to the front. Infantry needs to clock on through. It's going to be a fight for tier 3s right now. Stalwarts reposition themselves to fight it. It's going to be... Oh. We might see the hero killing power out from CNC really come in here. CNC's comes in with a huge charge from the rear, but gets stuck into halberdiers. Unfortunately, they get killed. Again, a huge charge, but more halberdiers comes in for BPJT. Just need to stabilize the position. Oh, man. Oh my god, what are you doing? BPJT just sacrificed 2 whole units of halberdiers, just shoving them into the halberdier of Crusaders just there. We also have Prefecture Archers shooting into this pile. A really good unit right now coming out from CNC. CNC also throws in some nice Fenrir, but the Fenrir are going up against a brace formation, getting absolutely bodied. I don't know how much seconds this A point has, but it's not being captured right now. CNC needs to be touching this point. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Really desperate from both sides right now. One by one, the heroes from CNC are dying. They can barely touch this point right now. Oh my goodness. How many people are gonna... And the A point gets taken! Barely see the A point because your stupid unit thing is up on above. Now, this is not good. This is not good for CNC because the remaining units from CNC is so low that BPJT can attrition them out. There's also enough higher tier units from BPJT that they are going to win. They could win. Honestly, CNC is in the worst situation for Heilong Fjord. A sacrifice for the A and B point, but the A and P point gets broken through. Now you're down to just your surf unit. CNC probably also has a couple of permadeath. There's only 10 players left alive for CNC. BPJT. Is it all or nothing for this C point? What's your plan, CNC? You're down. You got 10 heroes left. There are 14 heroes for BPJT. They also have superior units. Oh my god. Incendiary archers are just going to chop through your serfs. They only have 10 heroes alive. Yes, I can see that. But are they going to call for a rematch is my question, Zid1. They might call for a rematch. No idea. But right now, BPJT is definitely taking advantage of this. CNC goes on the attack, which is super wild. Oh my god, they are concentrating on killing the heroes right now. Both sides are really, really low on heroes, and they're going around a circle. The only problem is that here comes the swing back. The heroes needs to fight for the finish, and BPJT has way more units. Way more units and heroes. CNC. Oh man. Tragedy. Absolute tragedy struck for our former champions. The new champion for the Asia Division tournament. I was surprised. CNC starts off very strong. Man. Full chaos. Full chaos for the start. Yeah, I mean, like, give him points. BPJT, 10 kills. Holy cow. 10 kills in a tournament match. I mean, in CBL, there you can only die 3 times. He basically murdered 3 people. 3 people plus one. In a CBL, I don't remember seeing you get that many kills. Look how many permadeath they had. They had so many permadeath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Only 3 people from CNC were not permadeath. This is the thing, though. CNC started off really strong. I don't know what exactly happened that made their infantry crumble so fast. But at the same time, I kind of realized that the stalwarts were trading really well. Um, I get that they put Artie, but it was a crazy battle from start to finish. I saw BPJT also sacrifice, like, get this. One halberdier comes in towards the A point from CNC, then 2 halberdiers comes in for BPJT, walks straight into CNC's halberdiers and dies. Mind boggled. Oh man. I will put it like this simply, that the stalwart, the Samachian stalwarts MVP for BPJT, the real clutch unit that made or break, made and like that unit made BPJT 100%. Temple Tart, it's very unfortunate. Can't say that 14v15 is a fun battle, but I also can't say anything since the referee hasn't called for a redo or invalidated the match. So I believe I'm going to listen to the stream to see if there is a confirmation. But yeah. But I do want to make a point about this. BPJT, when they didn't have access to stalwarts, were CNC, playing CNC game and losing. So this is a good turning point for CNC and BPJT because they are very, very close in terms of skills, very, very close in terms of skill level. But how they do their battles, how they perform, are very, very much different. CNC focuses on the heroes and can clutch it in a high damage environment. BPJT does super well at cost effective trading. They also are able to win or are much better at affecting the unit balances in their favor with their heroes. So they concentrate on the hero versus unit. They concentrate on the unit battle more than fighting off the heroes. But again, when CNC wins the unit battle, they win the hero battle wholesale. But CNC's focus on the heroes was kind of lopsided and lost sight of the unit battles in the end. And there were some clutches coming from CNC to pick it back up. But in the end, when it comes down to it, BPJT's usage of the stalwarts was the carry through that allowed them to put the more consistent, more cost effective performance out. Yeah, I also agree with you, Sicko. First 2 battle pickup on Correct Castle really definitely showed BPJT wanted to win today. Losing out in the winners bracket was probably very upsetting for them. But looks like they're closing up, and I will close up as well. Do you need a challenge? And it's great that we now have two teams that are on another level. YYY is not far behind, but YYY is still a little bit low. It's kind of similar situation where Wildfire and Former Holt were kind of equal to each other, but CNC was still a step above. So if in this situation we now have two championship level, championship level CBL teams, and I would put it down that YYY being a really good CBL team, if we put it down to like casuals and really pro, again, the top three for this season are there. We have cultivated three pro teams. CNC, BPJT, and YYY, all really, really strong teams, have good performance out, and again, they demonstrate the best of CV, and that is what I love to see. But congratulate our new champions. First of all, to finish up the Asia Division tournament for CBL 2022 Winter, our new champions being BPJT, second place coming in CNC. Previously, the defending champions has been defeated and now comes second. So that is a big shock. They have won every CBL since the second tournament. Since the second tournament, CNC has won every single CBL until today. Today in winter 2022. That is crazy. To see the day that CNC loses is a turning point. I also congratulate YYY coming in third. All these three teams will get a nice reward in the prize pool of 20k. I do believe first place gets 10k, second place gets something like 5 or 7.5, and then last place gets the remainder. But nevertheless, thank you very much. I do hope. I mean, like VN House was won their thing, but if I was to put in my own ranking kind of thing, I think CNC, BPJT are teams that are going to. Well, I expect to see next season at the very least. CNC didn't fight. No. CNC didn't fight VN House in the first tournament. CNC wasn't there. From what I remember, the first tournament, the very, very first tournament where VN House wins. No. Wrong tournament. That's the second one where they went down to kill Christmas Sale. What a Chad move. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Um, it's true. During the second season, CBL, CNC purposefully lost against their opponents so that they could go down to the losers bracket where Christmas Sale was, and they defeated Christmas Sale to make sure they didn't have to fight them in the finals. But the very, very, very first tournament was won by VN House. Apparently, they won. Apparently, CNC wasn't formed during the first tournament. VN House, again, we haven't seen a team under the name VN House in a very long time. But back then, it was a whole different can of worms. But nevertheless, enough about the history. Enough about that. Closing up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. It was a really, really long, really long finals for the Asia division. Excellent that we have a new champion, and I do hope you guys loved the battles today. It was exciting and definitely a good show for everyone. But nevertheless, my name's Azakai, and have a nice day. I'll see you guys for the next time we get to go watch CBL. But otherwise, I stream on the Monday. So, bye for now.